Hello, everybody. Welcome back to MK Sports. It's me, Kieran, and my co-host Connor.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you do?
Yeah, just rocking the new United shirt. You know what they say, new season, same United, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can't relate really. Same old
Yeah,
Arsenal,
not bad.
always winning. I don't know. Uh,
Never winning.
winning this year, I tell you that.
No. So we got busy day. Busy
mm,
day. You know what day
busy,
it
busy
is? It
day.
is transfer deadline day.
Mm,
So we got a lot of news come out to us today.
hmm
So without further ado, let's rattle some off.
hmm
Starting with your team,
hmm
Arsenal.
Yes.
You've got Bournemouth goalkeeper Neto on loan,
Mm.
albeit he will be a cup goalkeeper. What are your thoughts on that?
I think it's a smart transfer. I mean, letting Ramsdale go. We needed a good backup to Raya to play, obviously playing in the cup games. I think Neto, with the experience he's had, he's got a good age. He's not too old. He's not to the point where his knees are breaking and he's gonna rust up basically.
Yeah.
And I don't know, he's a solid keeper. So I'm quite happy with the transfer. I mean, it's quite a smart business. I think it's just a loan, I believe, isn't it? Straight loan,
Yeah, as far
no
as
option
as
or
far as I'm aware.
you know uh, to buy. So yeah, I think it's a smart
No.
loan.
Yeah, it makes sense for Bournemouth to let him go on loan because they have signed Kepa,
Mm,
who is looking like their first team goalkeeper. So
mm.
yeah, the lack of games for him. If he's going to be on the bench, he might as well be on the bench at Arsenal, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So
He
yeah.
could end up winning a Premier League and maybe even a Champions League if he's lucky. You know what I mean?
Um, did he win the Champions League at Barcelona?
I think so. Yeah, but I mean, an extra medal can't hurt, right?
Did he win?
Surely he was there for quite a few years.
I might have to fact check this. Might have to fact check. No, he wasn't because he was
Was he
there
not?
2021, so they didn't win the Champions
Oh.
League. No,
But
or at least he didn't qualify for it anyway.
mm. but even so, I think going for being on the bench for the Champions League for a Champions League team isn't a bad thing anyway, especially
Hmm.
if you're going to be a bench keeper anyway. You know what I mean? So I think it's smart business for both
Yeah.
parties.
Yeah, I mean he does have like Europe like experience, I guess. It can help Raya in
Mm.
that. So, yeah. The funny thing is, he is a cup goalkeeper. He is cup tied for the Carabao. So weird. I don't know. Will he feature much for the rest of the season? Maybe the FA Cup has to spell. Anyway, on to the next one. This is a big one that's come out quite recently today. Um, The departure of Sancho has been on the books for a while this summer, and Chelsea have officially put in some bids for him. Two opposition propositions, from what I'm hearing. Both will be loan with obligation and an option. It just depends of if United are going to accept any fees or whatever. Sancho is open to the move, from what I'm hearing. What do you reckon?
I think it's a smart move for Sancho, and a bit of a risk for Chelsea. If I'm going to be completely honest, I think we've not seen him work in the Premier League. I think there is talent there. Whether it can be unlocked by Maresca in his system, we'll wait to see. But there is definitely talent there. You think he made Champions League final last season with Dortmund, um,
Hmm.
and yeah, I think he's a quality player. He was quality when he was at Dortmund the first time. He showed signs of it at the Euro 2020, and of the player he can be. And I think if they can get the most out of him, they've got a good player on their hands. But again, I think it is still a bit of a risk.
Yeah, I mean, with a loan, with it depends if they accept the obligation or option. If this option to buy, probably be a better move for them.
Hmm.
Because even if he does flop, then they don't really have to buy him. But I mean, yeah, brings Sancho back down to London. It might be better for him. But on the point of Chelsea, Sancho coming in, which means another winger could be outgoing. That's Sterling. He's been offered to Arsenal.
Hmm.
Uh, I do like Sterling, albeit he's played for two rival teams, Liverpool and City. But He was so good when he was young. His time at Chelsea has not been favourable. Would you take him at Arsenal?
I think 100%. I think with what's been shouted around, I think it's either a permanent transfer with a pay cut or a loan deal. I
Yeah.
think you can't go wrong there. You know, it's a player who's worked with Mikel Arteta before, a player who's won silverware. He's
Plenty.
done pretty much everything you can in the game. I think the only thing he hasn't won is a Champions League.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's been in countless of finals. You know, he's been in that Champions League final where Kai Havertz scored the winner for Chelsea. But you know,
Yep.
he's been there. He's been there. He's worn the t-shirt. I think it's good. It's a good sort of teacher for Gabriel Martinelli because they do have similar play styles in the sense they're quite direct, a lot of
Mm.
pace. So yeah, I think it'd be great for Arsenal. Great depth. Won't really hurt the books at all. Doesn't unbalance anything. I think it's brilliant. I can't see why we wouldn't go for it.
Yeah. He still is 29.
Mm,
It's not old.
no.
He will be 30 this year, but that's peak.
Mm,
That should be his prime.
mm,
Chelsea, they weren't playing great, so I understand why he wasn't being good as well. But for a 35 million pound value player, yeah, heaps of trophies.
mm.
You never know, could make you lift your first one. So, alongside the Chelsea transfers, if Sancho does go to Chelsea, we're hearing that Carney Chimkamwenka could go to United in a um, different kind of transfer.
Mm.
I'm open to it. I think he's a very talented player. Could play understudy to Bruno Fernandes. Um, I'm not sure if it's going to be permanent or it could be included in a loan. But you heard much from about Carney?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know too much about the player myself. I think
Mm.
he's one of those players that came into Chelsea when they bought in a bunch of players. There was loads of players around that time that all came in at the same time. And if I'm honest, it's a bit confusing to keep track of them all. There's so many of them,
Mm. Yeah,
and there's players that I've never even heard of in there. I mean, Chukwemeka, we obviously we've heard of him. I believe he's made a couple of appearances for the England under 21s.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
so based on that pedigree, I think you know he's clearly got potential, and I think it'd be good sort of depth for United.
yeah,
And he's got a lot of you know obviously he's not going to be a starter, but I think as a bench option, um, it's not a bad option really.
yeah, for sure, for sure. One big transfer news dropped earlier today. I mean, there's speculation throughout the summer for this player. Um, would he stay? Would he go? If he does go, would he go to anyone in the Premier League? It is Ivan Toney.
Mm,
Seems like he's accepted a move to go to Saudi Arabia.
mm,
I, for one, think that's poor from him.
yeah,
He's been banned from gambling. He's tried fighting his way back in. He played the Euros, did quite well for the minutes that he had, but going to Saudi Arabia at this age stinks.
yeah. It's not the right move if you
No,
ask me. I think it's wasted potential. I mean, for the fee that they've had to pay, I think it was something like 35 million, wasn't it?
I think yeah, 40 million euros. I think it was similarly agreed.
There's so many teams he could have gone to, and probably would have made them better. I think even a team like Chelsea, obviously, they're linked with another striker, um,
Mhm.
who we'll, should cover later on in this video. But if that doesn't go through, then Ivan Toney's going to look like a really big miss, in my opinion. I think
Yeah,
it's just for him as well. I think he's got so much to prove, and he's not going to be able to prove it out there because no one's going to see him.
mm,
Um, you know, he wants to play. He wants to secure himself in the England squad for the next tournament, but he's not going to be able to do that playing for Saudi Arabian teams.
yeah, yeah. With Lee Carley coming in, he's picking players as we can see from the England squad announced. He's picking players off merit and form.
Mm,
So if Tony's not in Europe, I can't see Lee Carley
no,
coming in for him anytime soon.
you know he might get lucky and picked up because
Mm,
no one else plays. But you think you've got strikers out there who you know, Eddie Nketiah's just moved to a smaller club than Arsenal, playing ideally as the first team striker. So you think if he's playing regular football in the Premier League and actually starts bagging goals, do you think he's going to get picked over Eddie Nketiah? No, again, you're basing it on form and merit. Nketiah's going to get chosen over him.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's the right move for Tony, and slightly disappointed really because I would have actually liked to see him in an Arsenal shirt.
Yeah, I think that's one position that Arsenal need would be a striker, and he fits the profile.
Yeah, 100%.
But
I
more strikers
mm,
we'll talk about. A Chelsea target,
hmm
Victor Osimhen.
hmm
He has been linked to Chelsea for the last 2 summers, I believe. Um, I don't think he's going to go Chelsea. I think they'll both go to Saudi Arabia because Victor Osimhen is asking for way too much money.
yes.
So it's looking like the double swoop for Osimhen and Tony to the Saudi club,
hmm
which would be very sad. Two great strikers in a poor like strikers market. Two of the
Mm,
best going to Saudi at this time. Bad. Game's gone.
yeah, I think it's a bit too early for the Saudi league. I think
Yeah.
it's got potential, and you think in a couple of years' time, the Saudi Pro League might actually be one of the best leagues, but at the moment, it's nowhere near. It's nowhere near.
Mm,
It's not got the draw that European football does. It's not
yeah.
got the draw of the Premier League or even the Liga. I think even Ligue 1 is actually better than it, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. So, yeah, I think it's poor from both parties.
Mm. Well, Everton making some transfers, albeit only the one I've seen so far. Mangala from Forest. I mean, not really the midfield replacement they needed for Onana.
Mm.
But
I think it's a big drop off from Onana.
yeah,
They
the
probably
quality doesn't really come in.
could have done a lot better. Especially with the likes of like Ward Prowse being on the market, and
Mm.
there's definitely better options out there. But
Which makes me go to my next point.
mm.
Ward-Prowse, he has gone to Forest on loan,
yes,
which I feel so just gutted about. I know Saints got relegated last year and he was their talisman. He wanted to stay in the Premier League, so I understand why he left.
mm.
But I think if Russell Martin fought a bit harder to keep him, like, look, we're going to get promoted next season, so you can keep the Premier League status when Saints go up.
Mm.
And now he's gone to West Ham, albeit I think he had a fairly okay season.
Yeah, I
Now it's
think.
just gone Forest, and I think, yeah, it's a bit sad.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, I definitely would have liked to seen Ward Prowse back in a Saint shirt, even if they managed to agree like a buyback clause if they got promoted or something
Mm,
along those
yeah.
lines. I think he was never going to start for West Ham. He was always going to be a bench player,
Yeah.
and a bit of depth. But knowing that, I think if he had something like a buyback clause back to Southampton, I think that would have been best for him as a player.
Mm.
But we'll see how he does at Forest.
Well, because it's only a loan, I like to see if Saints stay up. I wonder if he will be reunited with Russell Martin and crew.
Mm. He does.
So
He does feel like a Saints man. Like you
yeah.
think Southampton, you think James Ward-Prowse. They come hand in hand, really, when you think about it.
Mm.
Um, but yeah,
Yeah. Speaking of Saints, obviously, a departure from Arsenal's side. I know you're gutted about this because you were one of the fan favourites, but yeah, Ramsdale is
it's.
Saints' number one.
I've had loads of sleepless nights about this. I've cried quite a few times. If I'm going to be
He's your
completely
boy.
honest, I love him. I think he is the next England number one. He has that personality about him. He's got the drive. He's just that kind of player. I thought they're a dime and a dozen. Honestly, they're so hard to come by. They're so hard to come by, and eh, I understand why. Obviously, we've let him go. Um, Arteta's looked at it and said there's certain areas that Ramsdale's not quite good at yet, or good at all, and obviously Raya was the previous target before we went for Ramsdale anyway. So we kind of, again, the way Arsenal have been doing business recently is we've been more focused on market opportunities. And I think Ramsdale at the time was more of a market opportunity. Sheffield United just got relegated. He was on the market. He wanted to play in the Premier League. Why not take him? But we needed the upgrade at the time from Leno,
Yeah.
uh, and I think, like, realistically, Raya was always going to be that choice in the end. They were always going to go back for him,
Mm.
but it doesn't mean that I don't think Ramsdale was good enough. I think Ramsdale was more than good enough. I just think it's just a case of experience and age profile.
Yep.
You never know. I mean, in his farewell message, he did leave a line in there saying that look forward to coming back soon. Whether that's just in a Southampton shirt come back to the Emirates to play, or could mean have a bit of a deeper meaning that he might be coming back later on once Raya
Mm.
buggers off somewhere else. You never know
Yeah.
what the future holds. It's football, isn't it? So.
Yeah. I think with Saints' incomings this season,
Mm.
they really needed a solid goalkeeper.
Oh yeah, for sure.
McCarthy, not the youngest,
No,
Premier League proven-ish, but Bazuni been up for a long time, and I don't think he's really ready for the Prem yet.
no,
Ramsdale's probably the best shout you can get.
yeah.
I mean, he's had a few relegation scraps himself, so
He knows exactly what he's
experienced in
up
that.
for,
Yeah, exactly.
and I mean
As
he's
long as he has
he's
a good four in front of him,
mm.
then he should be all right.
And obviously we saw him at the promotion game as
Yeah,
as Hagrid.
Hagrid. Yeah,
The reveal video was brilliant, by the way.
yeah.
You can't knock that.
Mm, it was unreal.
But yeah, I think it's a good signing for Saints. A big loss for
Yeah.
Arsenal.
More Saints signings. We're looking at Maxwell Cornet. I believe it's only going to be a loan, as far as I'm aware, but another attacking player to go alongside Brenton Diaz and Adam Armstrong. I don't think it's too bad. I
Mm,
mean, he hasn't really had the greatest West Ham career the last couple summers, but when he started, he was good.
mm.
So it would be nice to see where he fits in that team.
Yeah, I think it's much needed Premier League experience in that team. I think the team that came up from the Championship was very much bare bones in terms of
Yeah.
experience in the Prem, and I think you've seen it in the first couple of games. They are lacking that Premier League edge. But I think the signings that they've made could help them out and keep them up.
hmm
It'd be good to see.
Yep. So when we spoke about our Premier League predictions in the finishing places, we mentioned Liverpool not actually making any signings. They've made some outgoings. Fabio Carvalho, one of them, that which
Hmm.
we thought he would play. I'm still weirded about that.
Hmm.
But they have made an incoming signing for once. Federico Chiesa from Juventus for
Hmm.
only 12 million.
Mm.
Absolutely, this could be a bargain of the century here.
Could be revive his career. I mean,
Hmm.
again at Euro 2020, I think he was one of the best players. I think he was nominated for Player of the Tournament at the time.
Mm,
Obviously, he lifted the trophy at the end of it. I think Arsenal, you know, in the 21 season, we were looking at signing him,
mm,
but obviously he decided to go to Juventus. Um, so I was quite, at the time, a bit annoyed about that because I did want him, but
mhm.
we signed Partey in the end anyway. So
Yeah.
um, hmm, I
The
think
only issue with this is obviously everyone will automatically jump on it. Injury record.
yes.
He has had issues with his ACL. He
Hmm.
tore it, so he was out for like a year, and then he's had knee issues. Playing in a high intense league like the Prem, God knows what that's going to be like.
The only concern I do have for Liverpool is still not signing a DM.
Yes, for now. You never know. Still got a few hours.
But I think that's going to be Liverpool's undoing. I know they signed, was it Endo last season?
Hmm.
And he did all right. I just don't think he's that great. I think
Yeah,
he's a okay midfielder, but then you compare it to the teams that Liverpool's competing against. Arsenal, Declan Rice, one of the best in the league, and Rodri, one of the best in the
yeah.
world. You can't compete, with Endo. Okay.
I
Yeah.
do think Endo's a quality player, but I
Yeah,
mean, like
again,
when you're comparing it, yeah,
yeah, it's a bit underwhelming compared to what Arsenal and City have in
yeah,
their Arsenal. Pun intended.
yep. Right. Another thing that I like to see, Brits abroad. It's nice to see some people from the UK play outside of the Premier League.
Mm,
Sad from my team, an academy player gone off the marks, and Billy Gilmore. So McSauce, McTominay, Billy Gilmore off to Napoli. Um, Billy Gilmore, um, he was a very promising player under Chelsea. Tried to follow Potter to Chelsea,
mm.
and then just went to Brighton. Sad. McTominay also gone. I think McTominay, he was shit, but he was our shit. That's all I liked about him. He gave everything on the pitch, but we really needed to generate some money for this summer. So yeah, we had to let him go.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we didn't actually send him to a Prem side. So it's nice to see him go to Italy.
I mean, you saying that he's our shit just reminds me of Mohamed El Neni.
Yeah,
Oh god, what a player!
yeah. But yeah, Brits abroad is something that I really like seeing.
Mm,
It's coming more common now with Bellingham going over to
yeah,
Spain.
big marquee signing that.
hmm Napoli are doing business. I mean, they signed Lukaku as well. That guy's a slut for Italy.
He's played for every Italian side now, isn't he?
Pretty much, other than Fiorentina, as the big club's done.
Juventus.
Yeah, they're not big. But with Ward-Prowse out, it means they need someone to come in. No, they've got Soler from PSG, another Spanish midfielder. I reckon he's got the similar build to like the Pablo Fornals that they let go. I think, as far as I'm aware, it's only a loan. Let me just confirm that. I don't know if it was just a loan or permanent. Not confirmed, but Lopetegui used him in the Spanish squad, so he knows the player quite well, and just boosts West Ham's midfield really.
Yeah. Again, I don't really know too much about the player. I'm not a big, I don't really watch PSG too much.
hmm
Only really in Champions League games and
Yeah,
stuff like that. But yeah, French league's not my strong suit. But
but yeah, West Ham 9 signings now.
hmm, yeah, I think as a whole, West Ham have made some really big dealings this summer.
Mm,
They're going to be a big dark horse in this in this season.
yeah,
Um, Again, Lopetegui's quality manager. Um, Again, we've seen what he can do, and
yeah.
with the backing that he's had from the West Ham board,
hmm
be interesting to see
Yeah.
potentially European spots.
Staying in London, we've got Max Lacroix to Palace,
Hmm.
which had people scratching their heads thinking, "Oh, if we're signing a centre back, what's Mark Gahey doing?"
Yeah.
But news has come out that he's staying, so they have bolstered their defence while
Mm.
letting Joachim Anderson go back to Fulham. So
Yeah. I
nice
think it is.
signing.
I think it is more of a replacement for Anderson as opposed to
Yeah,
letting Gahey go. And
yeah,
you never know. It could have been a case that they brought him in to let Gahey go, but
yeah.
it's good to see that he is
Palace
staying
fans,
at Palace.
Palace fans can now relax. Gahey will stay.
as well as Eze.
Yeah. But
uh,
yeah, more Chelsea news. We had Broja, who was linked to go to Ipswich. That has now been cancelled. I think Ipswich were trying to negotiate a smaller fee for Broja, and obviously Ipswich decided to pull out because 30 million was too much for them.
mm,
So it'd be nice to see if he stays, where he goes. I think he was good for Saints when he was a bit younger. Bit of injury problems, but I don't know. No one seems to want him. I think why not? If he's a cheap striker, and Ketty went to Palace, so they're the same caliber of player, in my opinion.
mm,
Although Brozier a bit more of a target man. Cheap, cheap, cheap.
yeah. I think
Um,
I've just seen a couple of things pop through on
oh,
the old Twitter.
breaking news.
A couple of bits of breaking news. Tammy Abraham to AC Milan on
That's a
loan.
swap deal.
Talking about Brits abroad.
Mm,
Again, we like to see it. Tammy Abraham. I think he's quite a good player, to be fair. He had a good little spell at Chelsea before, obviously being dropped from the team and sold out to AS Roma. But
yeah.
and then as well, Jaden Megahammer joins Brentford from Southampton.
Oh, Jada Magoma. Yeah,
There you go,
very talented,
Magoma.
very talented defender. Liked him quite a bit, but yeah, weird Saints selling him. I don't think Brentford is really an upgrade for him.
No, I
I
wouldn't
don't know.
say Brentford's much of an upgrade from Southampton. I mean, it's in
Uh,
London, so
yeah.
there's that.
Yep.
But as we well know, we're only hour and a half away from there, so.
Yeah. So let's move on.
Mm,
So another big story that dropped today was one of Nottingham Forest's wingers, Anthony Elanga. Rhythm is a dancer.
mhm.
Newcastle put a bid in, which we saw was 35 million. They rejected that.
Yeah, I think that's could be a missed opportunity. Could be shooting themselves in the foot there. It's a lot
hmm
of money, especially for a club like Nottingham Forest, who are flirting with you know financial reasons and financial fair play. So I think that's a lot of money. It
Yep.
could have helped them out quite a lot. But I mean, if they've managed to sort out their books, then it could be smart to keep him. But if not, then yeah, it's a missed opportunity there.
hmm
I also think it would have been quite good for Elanga to go to Newcastle, a bigger club. Um,
European football. Like he played for United at European level, so he knows what it's all about. And he
mm,
scored. I think he scored a couple goals for us.
mm.
In that Champions League campaign.
Yeah, I think Newcastle this year especially will be pushing for that European spot.
hmm
Um, Definitely competing for it. I know they fell short of it this season, but because of Manchester United winning the winning the old FA Cup. But
Yeah, biggest trophy in the world.
14 times, mate, 14 times in this
We'll get
kit.
it.
In this kit.
We'll lift it in this one then.
Ooh, fight and talk.
Speaking of United, now Scott McTominay going, generating funds. Put two and two together. Use the funds on a midfielder. Ugarte has joined us from PSG. Now I'm very, 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 very times 10 excited about this midfielder. We've screamed for a defensive ball winner for the last 2 to 3, 13 years. Um, Casemiro's not getting any younger, although he's had an all right start to the season, but last year, woeful. Absolutely awful.
Hmm.
Ugarte was on Chelsea's radar before he went to PSG, so obviously there is Premier League interest from there. And guess what? Sporting players always do well at United.
Yeah, you just got to think the most famous one.
Bruno Fernandes.
Bruno Fernandes.
No.
Um, yeah, I think Agate. I think he's a quality signing. I don't think he's setting the world alight, but I think he'll be a good sort of depth signing for you guys. Um, I think eventually he is looking to start, but I don't think he starts straight away.
No,
Um,
I think he benches Casemiro.
do you? That's a bold
Mm,
statement, I think.
yeah,
But yeah, definitely an upgrade from Scott McTominay.
yeah, huge upgrade.
Mm.
I think going
Much
to
needed as
stats,
well.
he had one of the biggest ball winners stats in Europe's leagues,
Mm.
which is pretty decent. More depth coming from United. We've got the Sekou Kone youngster. Not gonna lie, I didn't really hear much of him until Sweat told me about we're signing him. Just came out of nowhere, really. I was just like, wow, okay. Highly rated youngster. I mean, our academy's not been too bad these last couple of years. Kobe Mane coming through, so let's hope he follows the same path and comes up like that.
Mm. Yeah.
Little youngster. As far as I'm aware, that is most of the big transfers coming our way. We just have to mention Chelsea doing some dodgy business behind the
As always.
scenes.
As always.
I don't know what their accountant's up to, but they're selling a couple like youth players to Strasbourg, which is Chelsea owned. Find it a bit weird, so they're just claiming profit from themselves. Don't really understand it. They're letting one of their goalkeepers go on loan as well. God, it's a mess. It's a
Todd,
mess upstairs there.
Todd's got a plan somewhere, hasn't he?
Where?
he's got another loophole that he's gonna exploit.
Something like that.
It's
But
just, yeah.
yeah, transfer window closes in a couple of hours, so
Mm.
these seem like the biggest stories so far, and I'm excited.
Mm. Yeah, no, definitely.
Mm,
Um, I mean, speaking of transfers, new Arsenal transfer, Mikel Moreno, is now injured, which
it's
disappointed
two for
about.
two now, mate.
Disappointed about because I mean I was bantering you about Euro being injured and football gods. I've angered them. I need to
Yep,
calm down a little bit.
calm as a bitch.
Karma is a fucking bitch. But I think, yeah, it's only a fracture to his, I think, to his shoulder.
hmm
So it should be quite easy to recover, and probably won't be a recurring injury. So
Yeah,
it's not too big a deal. It's annoying because again I was hoping to see him this weekend against Brighton, but that won't happen anymore. We'll probably see him in a couple of weeks' time. So hopefully he comes back and he's nice and fit, raring to go. I think he's got that hunger. He'll have that hunger, especially by then. Just watching the team play. So
hmm
mm.
Overall, an exciting transfer window coming to a close, reopening again in January.
Mm.
So, going to our next
Next
topic.
topic.
What we got? What we got?
So we are moving on to European football.
Oh, my
So
favorite.
as you may be aware, or may not be aware, I'd be a bit worried if you're not aware. Um, as you're most likely aware, uh, we had Champions League draw, Europa League draw, and Conference League draw. All happened this week. The new format, everything's different.
hmm
Whereas before we had the groups and it was nice and easy to understand what was going on. Now we have this league system where every team will play 8 different teams, and none of which will be playing each other like they would before.
Yep.
And you play one home game from what is classed as Pot A, and one away game from Pot A, and then all the way to Pot D. I believe it is 4 pots. Um, so yeah, looking at the draws, starting us off, we've got my team, Arsenal. So yeah, I think as a whole, I'm quite happy with the draw. So PSG at home is quite an interesting game. It's not a game you'd normally see us in, um, especially with Champions League. Kind of not used to that anymore. So be good to see a big team come into the Emirates, or the Arsenal Stadium as it's called in European football.
Mm.
as well as Inter Milan away. I think again, last time we played Inter Milan was 2005, and we won 5-1 back when
Ooh,
Thierry Henry was playing with us.
TT.
So TT, yeah, I think he scored a hat trick that day. What a player? But
Yeah.
yeah, fingers crossed we can repeat that, right? Bukayo Saka hat trick.
Mm.
um, again, Shakhtar Donetsk as well. Another quality team from Ukraine. Atalanta away. Obviously, current Europa League holders. Um, Dynamo Zagreb. Again, they're constant in European football. Sporting Lisbon. We all know what Sporting can do. I was at, fortunately or unfortunately, at the game a couple of years ago in the Europa League, where William Saliba and Tomiyasu both got injured, and we lost on penalties.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this man managed to get me the tickets, so we're quite fortunate, but also unfortunate. But yeah, rounding off the group, AS Monaco at home and Girona away.
Mm.
But
Not bad.
overall, would you make of that? Would you call it a group or set of games? Like
Schedule. I'll probably
schedule?
say just yeah, schedule. Um, just touching topic on the new format. If you are a Football Manager player like me, you will know this format very well. Um, I do like it. I think it helps. Uh, so normally you kind of have to wait till the knockout rounds to play a big team.
Mm,
So I'm liking big teams playing big teams week in week out without like getting knocked out type thing. So it's a good change. For those who don't know how it works, so it's a league-based format. Obviously, it'll be 1 to 25, I believe, or lower. Um, top 8 automatically qualify. Ninth to 24th will then go to a two-legged knockout phase play to go into the competition. So then there'll be the standard round of 16 knockout stages from there. So yeah, let's hope you can finish in those top 8
mm.
places.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
definitely.
Arsenal's chances. I think you've probably got a very balanced
Mm.
fixture list. I mean, PSG losing their talisman Mbappe. I can't see them being a strong force against you guys.
No.
Um, Inter. I mean, they're winning 4-0 right now against Atalanta. Funny enough, but it's nice to see what they will do in Champions League. And the rest, I think, won't be really too much of a match, providing you don't get any injuries
Yeah.
between those games.
I think
Then yeah,
Atalanta is a force potentially. I think wasn't it? Didn't they beat Liverpool last season in Europa League?
yeah.
So I mean, in European competitions, they do perform quite well. They are kind of that dark horse team. But I think
Mm.
with the team that Arteta's built over the past few years, our defensive resilience is just going to be too much for, I mean, any of those teams to penetrate.
Yeah, on paper, for sure, you look favourites.
Yeah, 100%. I think,
Hmm.
looking at European pedigree, probably not. But in a game of football, anything can happen.
Yes.
And yeah, I think we've got a very solid chance to making it through to round of 16. I think we'll automatically qualify, if I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Yeah. Let's have a look at what the other Prem teams got. Let's go
Yes.
through those quickly.
So, Manchester City. So, they start with, well, it's not in this order, but they have Inter Milan at home,
Hmm.
PSG away. So, basically the same as Arsenal, but the other way
Mm.
around. Club Bruges at home, Juventus away, Feyenoord at home, Sporting Lisbon away, Sparta Prague at home, and Bratislava.
Slam.
Bratislava, yeah, away. So I think in terms of the draw, I think they've got 3, 4 relatively difficult sides. I think Sporting again is still a difficult side. I
Yeah.
think Victor Gyökeres is doing wonders out there. I mean, you've seen the start of the season he's had. He's looking really good. For a man who's come up from the Championship, I think how a Premier League side didn't pick him up. Notice
No,
the
I never.
quality. It's crazy. But yeah, Sporting again. They've done it again. They've got a brilliant youngster, as they always do. But I think for Man City, Inter Milan, PSG, I mean, same story as Arsenal, really. I think that the quality they've got and the European pedigree that they've got, it's going to be too much for either of those sides. I could see
Hmm.
Man City winning all their games by
Yeah.
quite a few nil, and probably topping the table, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't see Man City struggling at all.
Yeah. The only issue with this format is you really can't afford to drop points against anyone.
Mm,
Say City draw to final, and you win, you got 2 points above them.
yeah.
So a lot of tinkering will need to be done by all the Prem sides in that league.
Mm. No, definitely.
What's next?
So, moving on to Liverpool. So quite a tough run of games, really. So Real
Mm.
Madrid at home, Leipzig away, Leverkusen at home, Milan away, so AC Milan, Lille at home, PSV Eindhoven away, Bologna at home, and Girona away. I think,
Wow.
if I'm going to be completely honest, that's a tough group. That's a
That
tough
is,
group of teams. I think Real Madrid has always been Liverpool's sort of undoing in the Champions League.
yeah, since that final,
Mm.
she's been their enemy.
They really have. There's a little bit of a rivalry going on there.
Mm,
Um, they always do seem to struggle. I can't, I think it's going to be a tough ride for Liverpool,
mm,
especially with the new manager managing the Premier League, and it's going to be a rough season for them, I think, especially with this draw. Um,
mm.
I wouldn't
It,
be too surprised if they don't get automatic qualification.
it might not be like big name teams, but they're not easy teams to
No,
beat.
there
I
is
mean,
not a there's not a
Leverkusen last
single
year.
there is not a single easy team in that group.
No,
You think
they,
PSV again? They're still a solid side. Lille
hmm
still quite solid. They've got some big names. Leverkusen, obviously we all know what Leverkusen are and what they can do. AC
mm,
Milan again, they're also a big European team.
mm.
And then Girona as well.
Bologna had a really good season last year as well. They have lost Xerxes and their manager, but I still think they got a good foundation.
Mm,
Leipzig do well in European competition, so yeah, I don't think it's not an easy group for them.
no,
Not an
no,
easy group.
definitely not. As I said, I wouldn't be surprised if they did drop out. Well, not drop out, but I wouldn't be surprised if they didn't make it into the top eight.
Yeah, they could make the qualifying stages.
Hmm.
Well, to see who's next then.
Moving on to Aston Villa, the surprise of the Champions League,
Mm,
um, making a return after a number of
While
years. Yeah, a while. Um, Probably in my lifetime, I don't remember them ever being in the Champions League.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, so again, starting us off with Bayern Munich at home,
Ooh,
uh, RB Leipzig away, Juventus at home, Club
mhm.
Bruges away, Celtic at home, Young Boys away, Bologna at home, and Monaco away.
Again, tough group.
Yeah, I'm going to be completely honest, it seems quite tough.
hmm I think they're quite lucky having Celtic at home
Mm,
rather than away because I think they would struggle at that atmosphere.
yeah, definitely. And again, I think same goes for Bayern Munich as well. I think the idea of going to Germany and having to play Bayern is just it's horrible. Uh, their best chance is at home, but you never know. Could be a good ebony for them. We've seen Unai Emery, especially in cup competitions, just pull out crazy things. So yeah, again, I'm not expecting them to go far in the Champions League, but I would not be surprised if they do.
Yeah.
With how
Going
mm,
going to Villa's group, I'm pretty sure young boys play on 4G. I think their like pitch is 4G,
oh right, yeah,
which for some reason is allowed,
mm,
but it's not good.
no,
Like AstroTurf should not be
no,
played on professionally.
professional football, no.
So yeah, playing there could get injuries.
Mm.
Be bad.
But yeah, I mean, again, for the return to the Champions League, similar to Newcastle last year, they
Mm,
got chucked right into the deep end, and
yeah, they had a bad group. Yeah, felt bad for them. They're excited
yeah.
for that.
And I think Aston Villa have the same thing. You know, it's
Mm,
not easy. Juventus is going to be a hard one, but
yeah.
I think they've definitely got the easier games away,
Mm,
and the harder ones at home, so that could
yeah.
work in their favour. But
Yeah. That's how they get good home advantage
mm,
throughout the league, and they can build on that. But
yeah,
yeah, not bad for the Prem boys.
mm.
So
Moving on
nice to
to
see.
Europa League.
My favorite competition.
Ah, know it all too well, don't you?
So do you.
We're on about. We haven't been there for 3 years now. So yeah, moving on to Manchester United in their
Hmm.
group. So to start us off, Rangers at home,
Yeah, take that.
FC Porto away,
Hard.
uh, PAOK at home, uh,
Yeah, take that.
Fenerbahce away,
Jose,
Bodo Bodo Glimt at home.
take that.
If I'm going to be completely honest, I've never heard of this team. Uh,
Victoria Pilsen,
Victoria Pilsen, no idea
Chisholm.
who they are. You always get these teams in the Europa League. You never know who they are.
Yeah,
Twente
yeah.
at home, and I'm clueless. FCSB. Who are they?
Some other random team. So we got I haven't really unpacked it, to be honest. I only saw them a couple of hours ago. Um, Rangers, we played in pre-season. Didn't look pre-season though.
Yeah.
Um, Porto would be difficult away,
Mm,
I think. Um, Greece at home, yeah, we take that.
yeah.
Going to Turkey, not really favourable for that. I mean, did we Jose reunited with Uni- United?
Mm,
Um, Twente, one of Ten Hag's ex teams actually,
mm-hmm.
so it'd be nice return for them. But yeah, I think we win most of those. Probably drop points to everyone.
No, Manchester United. Yeah, probably.
Yeah. We'll we'll beat Porto and then drop points to the FSB fellas.
FCSB, man.
So it looks like they're
FCSB.
Romanian. They're a Romanian team.
Okay, that'll be why. That'll be why we've never heard of them.
Mm,
But yeah, Porto again. You saw them last year when we played them in the Champions League. They were quite a difficult
yeah.
side.
Hmm.
They do now have Fabio Vieira back with them.
Stinks.
I mean, when he did play for Porto last time, he I think it was something like 20 goals.
Mm,
For a central midfielder. So just hope he can regain his form. Back to seeing it.
yeah.
Um, but yeah, moving on to Tottenham. Um,
Who?
Tottenham. They have Roma at home, Rangers
Tough.
away, AZ Alkmaar at home. If I'm going to be completely honest, again, I believe it's another Turkish side away.
They're Hungarian.
They're
They're in
Hungarian.
Kavrosi, yeah.
Again, wow.
Karabag.
Are these even real teams?
Yeah.
At home,
Azerbaijan fellas, I think they're.
Galatasaray away.
Oh,
Nice.
that'll be
I know who
tough.
they are. Yes, that is a very tough atmosphere to go to.
Mm.
knowing that firsthand. Augsburg at home and Hoffenheim away.
Ooh,
Um,
interesting.
for a team like Tottenham, I think
They should be winning those games.
it should be.
Roma and Galatasaray are probably the toughest ones, but they
I
should win
think
the rest.
Rangers as well. Rangers away. You know, I mean,
Yeah, going to Scotland.
Scotland's always a tough atmosphere for a Premier League side.
Mm.
I mean, you
Yeah.
even saw it a couple of years ago when Liverpool played up there in the Champions League. First couple of minutes, or first half, sorry, they really struggled, and then I think it was Salah just decided to actually start playing and scored like 3 goals.
Yeah.
But or was it 4? But yeah, I think going up to Scotland's always difficult. It's never easy. But I can't see Tottenham really struggle. I don't think any of, especially with the new format, I don't think any of the English teams will struggle.
Yeah.
Uh,
On
in
paper.
on
Yeah, for
paper,
sure.
yeah, and that's
But
all we can go
football's
by.
not played on paper.
No, no, exactly. Um, but yeah, so that wraps up the Europa League. Now, finally, moving on to the Conference League. And if I had troubles pronouncing some of these teams,
Mm.
trust me, I ain't gonna get any of these teams. I mean,
No, I think you might
Ch-
get one.
Ch- Ch- Chelsea? Is that a real club?
No, I
Chelsea?
don't know.
If you
Never
ever,
heard of it.
mm, sounds corrupt if you ask me.
Yeah.
Uh, um, so yeah, this works slightly different with the Conference League. Instead of having 8 teams, they have 6,
Hmm.
and there's 6 different pots. So it works slightly differently to the more prestigious competitions.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, we have Ghent. We have Heidenheim, which is a German side. I do know that one.
Yeah.
Uh, we have Astana. Never heard of those away.
They look Kazakhstan.
Shamrock Rovers. I believe they are the first ever Irish team to qualify
Are
for
European.
any European tournament. So that's
Interesting.
a nice little fact for you. But yeah,
Wow.
they play them at home at Stamford Bridge. Panathinaikos playing away,
Yep.
and Noah.
Who is that bloke? It's just one bloke called
Fucking
Noah.
Noah. He's coming over in an arc, mate.
Yeah, yeah, he is.
uh,
Armenian team. Interesting.
where from?
Armenia.
Armenia. Where on earth is
Mm.
that?
Mkhitaryan's homeland.
Mkhitaryan. Oh my god.
That's the
Legend
name
of
you
the
haven't
game.
heard for a while.
Legend of the game. Oh,
Yeah,
what a bad signing that was. Why did we do that deal? Why did we? No, no.
yeah. On paper, Chelsea should be beating those, but I don't know if you saw Chelsea losing to Napkin FC,
Napkin
Serviette,
FC.
losing to Serviette. They're so lucky that they got the home leg
Yeah,
sorted.
yeah. I mean, it's a little bit
That would have
embarrassing
been
for them.
That would have been embarrassing. That was just the qualifying stages. That was just to qualify for this fucking league. Excuse my French.
It's not great, is it? It's
No.
really not great. um, yeah. Oof. Yeah.
Worrying times. But yeah,
Worrying times for Chelsea.
UEFA leagues. Nice to see the format change a little bit.
Hmm.
Nice touching moment for Ronaldo as well, getting the award for all-time top goal scorer.
Nice touching moment for Ronaldo standing there looking very, very bored and pressing buttons every couple of minutes.
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah.
how they managed to get that man to press buttons? That's beyond me. They probably said to him, "Oh yeah, we need you to do the draw." I think they learnt from that when they came on to do the Europa League draw today, because they actually got them to switch halfway. So the person who was pressing the button ended up drawing the balls out the pot. I think they probably should
Yeah.
have done that last night, because Ronaldo looked like he was going to sleep.
Yeah.
um, have just seen that another update from David Ornstein saying that Chelsea on the verge of agreement with Manchester United to sign Jadon
Oh,
Sancho.
it's been here we go.
It's been here we go. There we
Yep,
go.
just come through now. Here we go.
Here we
Right,
go.
so it's loan with obligation to buy. So that might be the 25 mil fee, but that will probably drop later.
Here
We'll
we
get
bust,
more
or
info.
here we land, or
We'll take a there we land. The deal is sealed.
deal is sealed. Yeah, I mean, we'll see how it goes, I suppose. As
Interesting.
said, bit of a risk, but
Yep. Obligation gets them off our books, money in our back pocket, we can reinvest somewhere else. I'm
yeah,
happy with that.
I mean, the official club announcements just come through as well for Manuel Ugarte.
Yep, saw that.
um, God, might as well just sit here and just live stream it.
Yeah.
With how quickly this news is coming in.
Gonna double check if there's more on the Raheem Sterling. It's just
I think,
it might go through.
yeah, I think David Ornstein's tweeted out about Ipswich Town and Reece Nelson, but also noted about Raheem Sterling on there, saying that Ipswich Town working on a deal to sign Reece Nelson from Arsenal. Very close to securing agreement with the 24-year-old winger on a season-long loan. No option or obligation to buy. Chance to depart helped by potential Raheem Sterling deal. So I think it's a little bit of a ripple effect there, where Sancho's now been sealed and done. Once that's officially over the line, I think it will then move on to Sterling to Arsenal. Once that then is over the line, Reece Nelson to Ipswich Town. Ooh. Sorry,
Let's merry-go-round.
I just had a spider crawling up my arm. Ugh. Anyway.
Yeah, not a bad end to the transfer window then.
So yes, to round us up today, we are going to be going through the Carabao Cup,
Again,
the
the
Mickey
most prestigious
Mouse
trophy.
Cup. We love it.
No, prestigious trophy. Only big teams win these.
Only big teams win these. So I think most notable would be Prem versus Prem matchups. So Brighton v Wolves.
Yep.
It's quite a good tie. I think
Yeah.
that'd be quite an interesting game to watch, to be fair.
You say that, but they'll play weaker sides just because it's Carabao.
Yeah, early
So it probably
stages.
it won't be like a league game, so
No, no.
there'll be restings in there, especially being on a Tuesday. And knowing Brighton, they'll probably get 12:30 kickoff
Yeah,
on the Saturday, so yeah, they'll rest.
yeah. Everton versus Southampton.
That would be interesting
Mm,
because they can't really afford to rest players because they don't have the depth.
no.
That's why the other
So
teams do, so probably full strength there.
yeah, two relegation sides.
How dare you?
Liverpool versus West Ham.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
That'd be a good game. I
Nice to
mean,
see.
I've always, whenever I think Carabao Cup, I think Liverpool, and I think versus West Ham. It's always
Yeah.
an interesting one. Um,
hmm
I will say as well, with how the draw has worked out, like I don't see Aston Villa anywhere.
Ooh, did they lose?
Did they lose? Surely they would have been coming in on this round anyway because they're European football. So I'm a little
That is a
bit.
good shout.
It is a good shout. I don't know what's happened with Villa in this. There's probably a couple
They've
of more
been
teams that are missing as well. But But yeah, while he's looking that up, another good tie I think will be Man City versus Watford.
So I think Villa got Wickham.
Oh, have I not got the full list here?
That is on the Carabao website. EFL Cup, Wickham. But I guess the fixture is still to be determined. So that's probably why it's not been like announced fully yet.
I see. Okay. But yeah, I think Man City versus Watford again could be interesting. It will obviously be Man
Mm.
City's second side. Um,
Third side.
third side. Oh yeah, the second side is playing in the Champions League.
Yeah, yeah.
um, but yeah, it should be quite an interesting game there.
And nice to
Um,
see Tom Cleverley go against a big team as well in his debut managerial career.
mm, yeah, definitely. Um, AFC Wimbledon hosting Newcastle United.
Ooh, the
Again,
Dons.
we always like to see, smaller teams hosting big Premier League sides.
Yeah, yeah, for
Um,
sure.
it was always very interesting. Um,
It would have been like that last year with the FA Cup with Eastleigh
mm, that would have
when
been
they drew
a
United.
hell of a game to play it,
Yeah, that'd been decent.
if only.
Mm.
We were almost
Heart
guaranteed tickets as well.
yeah, heartbroken there.
Oh, I would
What
have
other
loved to have
small
seen that.
clubs got drew then?
So Arsenal,
Small
small
club.
club. uh, yeah, so we got Bolton Wanderers. Again,
God, that's Barclays heritage, that team.
fucking prime Barclays right there. um, Manchester United, another small team.
Yeah.
Got Barnsley.
I'll take it.
Yes, again at this stage of the Carabao Cup, it's a bit like you're just going to see youth players. I think with the Arsenal game, I just want to see Mars Lewis Skelly, Ethan Waneri just play. Um, Maybe a couple of more players from the academy coming up as well.
Yeah.
Maybe even Heaven as well playing. Getting a yeah, bit of a run out for them. I think it'd be good.
Hmm.
As well as obviously making appearances off the bench during the Premier League and stuff like that. But yeah, I really want us to try and go far in these cup competitions, even if it's to the semi-finals.
No, you need final minimum. I think with a club your size.
Gone are the days where we get knocked out in the first round. I'm bored of them,
Yeah.
especially with this draw as well. It should be quite easy.
Yeah.
We'll probably still
Have
make
we
it difficult.
covered all the Prem sides?
I think Preston North End
Brentford.
versus Fulham.
Hell yeah, Fulham for Prem.
Fulham for Prem. Again, going to a small club. Be quite interesting for Fulham. Nice little trip on the road. And then uh, Brentford versus Leighton Orient. I mean, Leighton Orient, a team that was, I believe they were non-league a couple of years ago, weren't they?
Leyton Orient. They've always been down there.
Yeah. I remember going through the FIFA list and seeing them in League Two
Yeah.
and flirting with that bottom.
Was Leyton Orient? Was that the one that had like a Samsung kit on like FIFA 14?
Samsung kit in FIFA 14. Fucking hell.
Was it Leyton Orient? It was, yes. Yeah, FIFA 14 they had Samsung sponsor. That was unreal kit. I can show you that camera. That's
Mm.
a very cool kit. Mate, FIFA 14. Was it FIFA 14? Must have been.
Um, yeah, Coventry City versus Tottenham.
Mm.
That's one we missed.
Yeah, last year's semi-finalists.
Hmm. And then Chelsea versus Barrow. Chelsea will still lose.
Yeah. Barrow were low last year. Did they get promoted? Was it Bury?
Probably Barry. But yeah, I love how Chelsea are now the banter club. Gone are the days of
Yeah.
Arsenal and Manchester United being
Yeah.
bantered. We've risen above.
Yeah. But it's just because of Chelsea's spending habits and finishing in the league, we're kind of like behind the scenes type things. If that was the case, United would be the bigger banter club,
Yeah.
I'd
Arsenal,
say.
however, I love the fact that we're no longer the banter club. We were the prime target for the banter. Oh, this kit, this kit. How's he gone down like that? He's built like a brick shithouse. Oh, the great Houdini.
Bring him back, eh?
Bring him back. Oh, God. And then you've got Kieran Tierney tripping over his own feet. David Luiz.
God, yeah, you had a crap squad.
Oh, no. Don't even. I have PTSD about those days. Ah, Jesus.
Just checking Twitter, see if there's anything else come up. Oh, I think Saints have got Ryan Fraser just come through.
Oh, yeah. That's the
Yeah, I
that's
think
the winger that we were on about.
yeah, Ryan Fraser was, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we
Yeah,
did
there
we
you
did
go.
say
He's
they were
confirmed.
looking for another player.
How much is it for? Let me just see if I can find out.
Neto has the official announcement from Arsenal.
Cool, cool.
Locked in.
I don't think they've released the figures on that one yet, but the wee man back in Southampton. Nice to see.
Mm. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Sterling unfolds. You never know. By
Mm-hmm.
the time this video goes up, he could be an Arsenal player.
Yep.
You guys will all know. We will also know, but not right now.
Yeah. Oh, news has just dropped about Victor Osimhen.
Oh,
Apparently, he will be staying
at
at
Napoli.
Napoli.
Thank
Mm-hmm.
God.
Yep.
I think that's a big relief, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think Napoli. Yeah. Mm.
So yeah, Napoli with Lukaku and Osimhen. Maybe they could win the Champions League.
Strike partnership.
No, they didn't get Champions League.
Yeah, but be
Nice way
interesting
to
to
end
see.
the episode on some news.
Yeah, nice little bomber.
Bomber.
Bomber. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. Sorry, dragged out at the end. But as you know, transfer deadline day is what it is. I mean, loads of news coming out, things dropping by the minute. I mean, by the time I click end on this video, I'll probably be like, "Damn, we should have stayed on for another 5 and mentioned
Yeah.
this." But yeah, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little chat that we had.
Like, subscribe, comment your thoughts.
And ding dong that notification bell. Make sure you ding dong it. Don't just hit it, just ding dong it. When you hit it, you have to go ding dong.
Specifically that.
Yeah, exactly. Specifically that, and then you'll get notifications when we next upload.
Follow us on Twitter as well.
Yeah, make sure you follow us on Twitter, MK Sports. It'll be down below in the description.
Yeah, we'll put that down.
And yeah, just let us know your thoughts on the Champions League group stages, Europa League group stages, and Chelsea. Sorry for all you Chelsea fans watching. We do like to banter. It's just payback, okay? You guys bantered us for years. It's just payback. But yeah, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.
Bye.